Hello and welcome to the next VOD review that we're going to be doing. We're looking at the Eastern region. We're watching the NYXL versus the Dragons. Before I hear all of you complain, oh my god, this was such a one-sided, we just have to watch it because this was a qualifying match. I understand the Dragons absolutely bopped the crap out of the NYXL, but let's have a look at it as well. Dragons are by far the favorites, I think, heading into this tournament. They are just so good on this Wrecking Ball Zenyatta comp, and this is a composition, not the Lucio, he's gonna go Brig, but this composition is considered, I think, very strong, probably the best composition because of how high the skill ceiling is for it. You can always do more in this composition, and if you play it to the highest pedigree, I don't know if there's a counter to it. And we actually, don't take my word for it. Fearless actually said the same thing in his own interview. And when Danny asked him, how are you going to beat it? Fearless was kind of speechless. And I think that sort of summarizes how good the Shanghai Dragons are and how good they are at this composition. That's what makes them favorites. We're going to see how strong it is against the NYXL. NYXL come into this series not wanting to mirror the exact same composition that the Dragons play because that's not really their strength. I don't think they play Sombra very well. And Kalios thrives in the Zyre, and that's why we're going to see them play a lot of Guangbong or just a lot of hit scan, McCree, and all that kind of stuff, and play a lot of Zyre with them as well. So we'll see those two differences. It doesn't work for NYXL, but I don't hate the choice to go for this strategy. So let's see it. All right. Lip has actually been landing 2+ EMPs pretty constantly now. He's growing. Hey, I hope Lip gets some growth because it's been kind of crazy how poor he's been at the Sombra. Not poor at the Sombra, poor at EMPing. His Sombra is great. Let's watch some Fate Wrecking Ball to start. Kalios kind of cracked. Yeah, Kalios has been a good upgrade for NYXL. He's definitely been showing his worth. So with this style, because I really don't like the Ana for the NYXL because I think the Zen is better if you're going to play the Wrecking Ball. The only thing that I think the Ana I like about it is that you can nano the Zyre, and I think that can actually get really high impact. So it could work, it kind of works, but we'll see how they make it work. God Fate's ball is so smooth. It is actually very good. He's put a lot of work into this Wrecking Ball to the point that I think he is definitely one of the better ones that exist in the game. And here's what I don't like about the composition from NYXL, right? You see, like, we're pretty far into the game. NYXL is playing a Wrecking Ball and a Tracer that really wants to go in, but they don't... How do they go in? They don't really have an effective enough dive to kill Izayaki and Lee Jae Gon. So therefore, the Dragons just have an easier win condition because they have the Zen Discord Orb. They have that extra damage from range, and they have a better dive. So... I feel like they're hoping that the Zyre gets like crazy value, but I think it's going to be so hard for the Zyre to get value, right? Let's look at it from Kalios' perspective. Yeah, this is my crosshair if you're confused what's happening. Like, Kalios tries to go aggressive, but as soon as he tries to go aggressive, he gets absolutely murdered by the Dragons. Kalios or Bianca? I would go for Kalios. I think there was definitely an issue with Yakpong Bianca. I don't know if it was Yakpong, I don't know if it was Bianca, but the tank line was definitely struggle when it was those two in, so... Since the McCree Brig are tied to the Ana, but the other three roam free, so your team is constantly 3-3 split. I would even say that the Zyre is with the backline, so I would say it's more of a 2-4 split, but the backline can play more aggressive with the Zyre, right? So the Zyre can be that pseudo frontline and walk forward for the team. Is my camera lagging? Kind of looks like it, right? Well, sorry. Wait, let me turn my camera off and on. It's fine. If it's fine for you guys, then it don't matter to me. Maybe it's just my previews. Oh yeah, my whole preview's lagging. Oh well, that's fine. Doesn't matter to me. I might have too many things open actually. I think I definitely know what's happening here. I don't know. All right, let's go. So let's see how this keeps going. So let's get a look at how Lip plays the game. That was pretty bad by Yakpong. He can't get hacked like that. That was a great nade by Jonak to keep everyone up. Oh, they're kind of holding this off. Look at how Izayaki, when he plays Zen as well in these compositions, look at how aggressive he goes. I didn't even know where he was, but I saw his Transcendence and I knew exactly what he did. Because this is the way Izayaki loves to play the Zen. He doesn't give a fuck, dude. Look at here. Look at where he is. He actually missed a lot of shots. He could have killed everyone, but... It's the way that Izayaki plays his Zen. He plays it so aggressive. And I actually think it's interesting because I think Izayaki recognizes that he just uses the Transcendence as like a dive tool rather than like a defensive ultimate for the most part. I think he will need to keep it a little bit more against this Xayah, but if you're playing in this mirror, right, Tracer, Sombra, all that kind of stuff, you can't really use it too defensively, so using it aggressively could sometimes be the play. So let's see how Lip gets this, let's see how Lip does on with the CMP. This is gonna be clean. Oh, was that a bait? Yo, sick bait by Lip. Baits the rally by jumping in. So that's gonna force them to go, and then they're gonna feel like they need to go aggressive with their own rally. I don't want to say this was unnecessary to EMP the Tracer. Like, he probably could have just manual hacked Flora, let's be real. It's kind of worth, but it's also like he probably could have just got away with manual hacking, but I guess it's fine. So there's the Nano Xayah. But yeah, it's not really going to do a whole lot. Great manual hack onto Yakpung. Yakpung's just not having a good time.
I'm on fire. Touch me and you'll get burned.
Yeah, like, it's fine. But yeah, was it necessary? Probably not. Is it fine? Yeah. Like, they know that it's gonna force the objective, like they're gonna... It's actually a really good tech as well here that I want to talk to you guys about, if you guys aren't aware of this one. A lot of Sombras don't do it as much these days, but I think this started becoming a big thing in 2019 when Sombra goats. When you unstealth, if you actually do it behind a wall, I think this is still how it works. If you actually unstealth behind a wall compared to thing, they will hear you, they won't hear you, or they'll hear you significantly less. So look at when Lip decides to come out of stealth, he does it behind the wall so that the voice line isn't heard, or is a lot more muffled. So then it makes it easy to get the hack. Wait, how did that just not work? But yeah, gets the hack off on a Friday. And then they just bomb engage. Just the dragons just doing dragon things. Oh, Fate goes down, Flutter goes down. But this should be hard for NYXL. So the voice line is LOS, yes. I don't know if you won't hear it at all, but it's definitely a lot quieter.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Alright, so now we're going to have a mirror, except NYXL is going to play the Mercy Ash. So the Mercy Ash is actually really strong. The hardest thing that you're going to deal with against this composition, especially with Flutter playing this Sombra, this Echo, is just keeping your Mercy Zen alive. Because they pocket each other pretty well, but if you get a good executed dive, the Mercy just dies. Like, Zen Orb isn't enough to keep her alive. So Izayaki gets Guangbung. How does Izayaki get Guangbung? I actually missed it again. Sorry, I was looking at something. Just tossing balls, just tossing nuts in his face. Let's go. Yeah, he's just throwing nuts. That's just a well-executed dive where he managed to get the kill. And that's sort of what I was speaking to right there, right? Of like, if you can get a well-executed dive onto the the Ash to Mercy, he can hear the Tracer coming for him, right? Oh! Yo, that was kind of funny by Izayaki. Hiding from the Tracer. He could have got that. Is Yaki playing Valorant? Yeah. Check your corners, Lip. Oh, wait, no, Flora. Why is Mercy the target over Zen in NYXL's comp? Because the you can kill the Zen, right? If you get a really clean dive, the Zen will die to the Mercy, right? But think about it. Mercy can actually pocket the Zen highly effectively, right? You can heal him constantly for the whole beam. I think Mercy's healing is pretty drastically higher than the Zen orb. So Mercy's actually quite susceptible to death if you get a good dive. Yeah, I just saw that, Patrick. That is why I was distracted from that that thing. I was watching them like at 1% with like half of their raid dead. Watch the Yakpung kill. It's 60 HPS versus 30. I'm not 100%. Oh, no. Please don't tell me this is what happens. No! Let him out! It's bullying! Oh my god, that's rude. God, Lip's so talented. I actually think I like Fleta Lip more than Fitz Prophet these days. I think Prophet and Fitz haven't been playing as well individually. Like, obviously Prophet's still the GOAT and he's still insane, but I think right now, Lip Fleta is playing better than Prophet Fitz. This is just spawn camping. They're literally spawn camping the NYXL. This is just disrespectful. Because they have a team, and that could easily be it, right? That they have a better team around them. When did you not think that? I definitely have thought that in the past. Like, I think Fleta at the start of the season, I don't think Fleta was playing that well. And Lip Tracer hadn't been unlocked, and Lip was still doing some limp EMPs, so... I think you could have made an argument for Fitz Prophet being better. Maybe in the preseason, I think I had more excitement about Lip Fitz Prophet, but... Yeah. This is just rude. Like, they're literally just spawn camping them. There's no respect here. But Fitz and Prophet haven't played well at all, really. What do you mean? They, like, were really good in the May Melee. They were really good at the start of the season. At the very start of the season, they were actually quite good. So eventually this spawn can comes to an end and NYXL get the cap. But it cost them, you know, a lot and a whole 99%. So. They made it to grand finals last year, yeah. Like, Seoul has always been very good. Like, and they have been very good recently. I think a lot of people disregard Seoul because they, like, suck from week to week. But they have some crazy matches, right? Look, and going on the Izayaki, let's talk about the Izayaki, how he uses their transcendences again. Let's just double check this. Look at this. He just doesn't stop holding W. He doesn't care. He's just going. W to get the W is Izayaki's transcendence strategy. So make grand finals one tricking that broken hog patch? No, okay. Guys, if you seriously don't think that Prophet and Fitz are like one of the best in the business and that they have very good metas for them, like I don't know what to tell you guys. Like they are very, 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 very good, and the only reason Seoul is anywhere close to good some of the times is because Prophet and Fitz. If you put Prophet and Fitz on the Shanghai Dragons, they would be the same, if not better than, you know, Fleta Lip at certain points in their career. Like, Rip. And that just goes back to the same story that we talked about yesterday when we're talking about it's way easier to look good on a great team
Thank you very much, money.
than it is to be good on a mediocre team. Would you consider Seoul as the gatekeepers of the APAC region? Not really. Seoul's too inconsistent to be the gatekeepers. If I was choosing a gatekeeper team of the APAC region right now, I don't even think the APAC region has a gatekeeper team. They're all too inconsistent. So we got an EMP that hits the Wrecking Ball and the Trace. That's pretty good by Lip. Spark, Philly, Chengdu, they're all great options, but all of them kind of suck at certain points throughout the season. The biggest issue that NYXL is having right now is they're having to give up too much positioning. If NYXL had been able to keep the point through the last 2 fights, before they started winning, they would actually be in a really good spot. But because Shanghai keeps getting the point, they're able to lose the fight. Shanghai's able to lose the fight without losing the round. So actually some pretty good play by NYXL here. It's Justinian T. Thank you for the Prime Gaming sub. What do you mean by a gatekeeper? Gatekeeper essentially means is they're never going to beat the top end teams, but they beat everyone else.
Thank you very much, money.
Oh, they just got overrun. That's just the rally diff right there. NYXL didn't really have many ults to deal with the rally support transcendence. Like, you just see the aggressions of the dragon right there. And Shanghai gets it. Hey, Custa, I want to start VOD reviewing our games to improve my understanding of the game, but I'd love to know what sign of stuff I should be looking for. Just look for whatever you think is interesting. Just keep an eye out. Like, try and, like, pay attention to things that you see people do that you think are interesting or different or that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to tell you what to look for in a VOD review. It has to be, it's your VOD review, right? It's Demi Sup. It's Demi Sup. Thank you very much for Prime Gaming sub as well. Much love, much love. Alright, let's head over to Bolskaya.
3, 2, 1. Attackers in.
Sorry for a new question, but how does Zen Brig provide enough healing? It's actually a very good question. But you look at the rest of the team on the Shanghai Dragons, right? Who needs healing? Traces and Sombras generally play around packs. They don't generally get a whole lot of healing from the Zenyatta, and if they do, or their Brig, but if they do, they're probably in line of sight and can get like a pack or an orb for a little bit. Wrecking Balls can play around packs as well. They generally roll around mega packs and that kind of stuff compared to like needing a big amount of healing. The only person who really needs a ton of healing is the Diva. And at that point, the Zen Brig have enough healing for that. As long as the Brig makes sure she has packs and doesn't waste her packs, there's enough healing there for sure. So it isn't much healing, but it's fine because the composition that they're running doesn't need healing. And that is generally why you don't see Zen Brig being played with like a Winston or like Winston hit scan and stuff like that, because you just don't have enough direct healing for those heroes. Okay, watch Justice Dallas after this. Yes, we will be watching Justice Dallas after this. So NYXL's actually put Feather into the lineup, who's going to be playing the Sombra. I think the Sombra is very necessary against the Dragon's composition. I don't know how I feel about this Anazaya. I feel like it makes you very susceptible to getting just dove and you just lose map control, because look at this, right? This is kind of how they have to play. The Zaya has to play with the back line.
Thank you very much, money.
And that they have to move around as a unit, but I don't know. I just prefer the Diva, sorry. I think the Diva is just more consistent, and I think the Discord Orbital is so nice. And the NYXL just sort of fall over under that pretense as well. Have you decided on what to make your corgi? What do you mean? I'm not gonna make a corgi. Have you done Rain and Glads? Yes, I did that yesterday. It is on my YouTube. We think of NYXL just not using Ivy. I thought he would be crucial for the team. So did I. But it feels like they've hard focused on having Flora, Feather, Guangbong being the core, right? Like Feather is like the flex DPS who plays like the Echo, the Mei, the Sombra. Flora's the Tracer / hit scan player when needed, and Guangbung's the hit scan specialist. Ivy's sort of gone amiss. And I was surprised because Ivy actually looked really good in the preseason when we were looking at it. I was like, oh, maybe Ivy will make a lot of sense, but not sure. Not sure. What are Dragon's other DPS? Dragons have Develop on their team, who is, I believe, a hit scan, primarily hit scan, right? And Who Are You as a Genji player, for the most part. Develops like the rookie DM, right? That's the best way I can describe it. Lip pop, please. You want to see some lip? All right, let's have a look what he does. Damn, they're stacked. Yeah, they do it just because they can. Hope we see him soon. We won't see Who Are You unless Genji becomes very meta, which seems unlikely at this point. Fleta gets a pulse bomb on a Friday. Let's have a look at this one, because I do love a good pulse bomb. Oh, just makes it look easy, dude. Zyaki uses Transcendence to stay alive. Lip is almost gonna get the Fleta. Lip is gonna get the imp. Did he just forget that he had a Translocator? It looks like he wants to throw this Translocator. Yeah, that was definitely a mistake. He definitely wanted to throw that Translocator. He knows he really wants to get this Mega Pack hacked. If they can get the Mega Pack hacked, they're in a really good spot. Yeah, solo EMP the Xayah. You honestly take that.
Thank you very much,
Get
money.
the Xayah out of the cap. I think he would have hoped that he had hit the Wrecking Ball. I think he thought he probably would, but fortunately didn't get it. Mine v mines. Pew, pew, pew. Alright, Void's gonna use the bomb on the point. Should give them a second tick plus. They clear the mines. NYXL should be able to win this. Oh. Kalius is gonna get a grab hopefully soon.
Round 1 complete.
Like, let me put it this way, right? Friday, so we're 5 minutes left, so that means we're 3 minutes into this game, right? 2 minutes into the game? Because it's 4 plus 3? I'm forgetting what it is. Because you get 3 minutes when you cap, right? So 3 minutes in? So they cap it in... It's like 2.5. Actually, I actually trying to remember how this works these days, because they've changed it a bunch of times. So you get 30 seconds as well, so it's at 3 minutes, and it goes to... Yeah, so you get another 3 minutes. So when we're at the end, and we're at 4 minutes, that means there was a 3 minutes... Sorry, no, 2 minutes in, because we have 5 minutes. Fuck me. I'm confusing myself at this point. So we're 2 minutes in, and Kalios has 70% to a Graviton ult. Oh yeah, I guess we have a game timer at the bottom here. Yeah, we're 2 minutes in. So we're like 2 minutes in. Kalios didn't get close to a grab, and Friday just got a rally, right? Like, I think that's fundamentally an issue with this composition, is that the Xayah just didn't do anything. Either did the Brig for the most part, right? Like, they just didn't offer anything, and they just get rolled over. Like, they even got some good picks on the second point. They just couldn't fight it even after that. So you can sort of see the weaknesses of the NYXL's comp right there. Also not a fan of the Ana, me either. I don't think Ana's great in this composition. I think if you're going to play the Wrecking Ball, you should probably just play the Zen Diva. They are playing their comp, they're playing their style, but yeah, I don't think it was ever going to work in the long term. So, Dragon's playing the same thing. Let's get some Kalios Pov, actually. So, he gets some pretty good energy off the bat. Stay asleep, Void. And you can see they take positioning and they're getting there. They just can't punish anything on the Dragons, right? Especially without that Sombra, they can't get those individual hacks. Like, Kalios is like walking forward, he got energy, but they're just like, the Dragons are just like trading aggro running around for the most part, right? And their dive isn't good enough to kill the backline, while you can see the Dragons, all they're trying to do is isolate the backline. Fate is so free without Discord. Yeah, you really need the Discord to keep these Wrecking Balls in check. Oh, that could have been a sick pulse bomb. Yeah, it's a trade though. You take those if you're flatter. Good pulse bomb. Void goes out of mech. 4v4. Alright, so NYXL should have earlier spawns. And closer spawns. But they did kill the Tracer Diva, so the Diva Tracer should be able to get there. EMP's okay. I don't love it. But if it isolates Yakpong, then it's worth. Yeah, I don't love it because I don't think the follow-up was there. Like, there was nobody who was ready to deal with that as well. Oh my god, Yakpong just get... Like, you can see... Like, look at what Yakpong does here, right? Like, this is A, I don't think it's a great Wrecking Ball play. But also B, just see the effect of the Discord Orb. Just, like, how much damage, extra damage he takes. You just can't even do anything. So now we get the Nano Zarya. Woo! Alright. The Zarya will get them the first point. Nice job, right? But that's like perfect scenario for the Zarya. The Zarya needs to play in that style to like... They had to get the nano, they had to get the grab, and like Dragons couldn't be ready to deal with that, right? If Izayaki was there, they would have won. They don't win this, right? They don't win this, right, guys?
Into the iris.
Feather got hacked. Alright, Jonak kills Izayaki. There we go. How does Lee Jae-gon kill Yakpong? He's full health. Oh, okay. Gets caught by Flora though for that. Alright, no. NYXL wins. NYXL wins. We're good. We're good. I was like, there's no way the Dragons win that, right? They were close though. That was closer than it probably should have been. Lee Jae-gon's gonna switch off Lucio, right? Lee Jae-gon. You be doing a little bit of trolling here. EMP onto the backline. Yeah, this might be a little bit of trolling here from the Shanghai Dragons. That was a pretty poor EMP as well. Didn't hit as many targets as they needed it to. Good mines. The grab's pretty good. Izayaki went to the BAP, which is interesting. Alright. Nano Feather on the point. You might actually be able to isolate people. Jonak's kind of doing a lot of work on this Ana. They need to get some pressure on her. Jonak. Izayaki has somehow ended up in the back line. Has somehow ended up in the back line of the NYXL. How did they end up on Tracer BAP? How did this happen? He's owning? Yeah, Izayaki always owns. Izayaki and Lee Jae-gon, the backline is, but they're in the wrong backline. Jonak's been having a good season. Yeah, I agree. I think Jonak's been pretty good. The beat engage. You're just gonna run away. Oh, yeah, you kind of fucked up on that one, Lee Jae-gon. As soon as that Tracer got the pack, it was over. Oh my god, is NYXL gonna cap? Alright, Shanghai Dragons do be doing a little bit of trolling here. They're playing Lucio Bap Sombra Tracer Wrecking Ball. That is that is a little bit of trolling. I think Lucio has one of the highest skill ceilings in the game. I agree. I completely agree. I think the movement is one of the hardest things in the game. I think the aim is hard, and I think the movement is difficult.
Attackers incoming.
They're on stage in front of a home crowd, yeah.
Objective A.
Sometimes you got to be doing a little bit of trolling. All right, we'll get the same thing on this first point attack for the NYXL.
Wobble wobble, motherfucker.
Unito, thank you for the 2 months. But it gets feather somehow. Oh, they are not in a good place. That was a nice little tech by Fate. Yeah, they just got cornered. This is gonna be the world's freest dive. They can keep Izayaki alive. This is crazy. Damn. Flora wants him. Save Izayaki. Oh, wow, great peel by Lee J Gun, keeping Izayaki alive. If they had got Izayaki, there's a chance that NYXL could come back with that advantage, but keeping Izayaki alive is so important. I think I like this meta. This meta is very chaotic to watch. Lip's gonna get an EMP.
See you later.
Oh god, poor Yakpung, dude. Is he gonna go aggressive? I feel like he's about to throw a Translocator in. Or is he gonna solo EMP this Tracer? Oh. That was a really good Transcendence, because if Lip dies, like, that is potentially a lost condition. Just EMP him. Did he just miss? Oh no, he did hit him. Yakpung comes back and just gets insta EMP'd.
I'm on fire. Touch me.
I prefer it over the Sim Mesa. Oh yeah, Fate's Ball is very, 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 very good. I think it's probably one of the better ones we have in the league right now. You can tell he's put a lot of work into it, and you can see that the team plays around his ball so well.
Everything can be.
See the hello spam before the EMP, true BM? Hey, I respect it.
You know that isn't the kind of hacking I do, right? Get into position.
Thoughts on Guangbong? I think Guangbong's really solid. I don't think we've really had like a hit scan meta where Guangbong's been able to thrive. Like, we really haven't had many hit scan metas this season, right? We've had a lot of dive and a lot of Ryan Brawl, so we'll see.
Hola. Ahorita regreso.
Guangbong has got a lot of playtime. Yeah, but it hasn't really been a hit scan meta. That's more them forcing Guangbong than... Like, you know, it's very hard to thrive when you're not in a hit scan meta. He's sort of getting thrown in as a hit scan in a dive meta, right? So that makes it way more difficult.
¿Qué onda? Iniciando el hackeo.
Lip's hacks are just absolutely causing so many issues for the NYXL right now.
I'm out of here.
Lip does a good job of not relocating early. I love watching Lip. He's been really good this season. There it is. Could you run Sigma instead of D.Va? You potentially could, but I think D.Va's just really consistent. Like, I think D.Va is probably just the most well-rounded hero and off-tank. What's the key to beating this comp? Not allowing Fate to do whatever the fuck he wants and playing around EMPs effectively. Those are the two crucial things against this Dragon comp that I didn't think you need to do. If you let Fate just do whatever the fuck he wants, you're gonna lose. If you let Lip just get really high value EMPs, you're gonna lose, right? Why not just play a lot of CC? Well, like, what do you mean? They're already playing, like, you're generally playing Brig Sombra of your own to deal with it. It's kind of hard.
5, 4, 3, 2.
What scenario in which they play Bianca over Kalios? I don't really know. It seems like never, right? Like, you're always going to just play Kalios, right? That's sort of seems like. A lot of CC also introduces immobility. Yeah, like, if you go, like, May and stuff like that, you got to really slow the whole game down and go a lot of counter CC. And at that point, they're able to do whatever the hell they want against you, right? So... So we're actually going to see a shift up here. So Lip is going to play the Ashe. NYXL is going to play the Winston comps. And I think this is probably better for them. They really want to play the Ana. I think you should just play the Winston. You can see the Dragons. Like, Dragons are playing this an absolute masterclass of how you play this composition, right? They play it slow. They force away the tanks from being close. As soon as they force them away, the Ashe takes the high ground. And they just, like, the Dragons' whole team is just creating space for Lip. And that's going to force the NYXL to feel like they have to die, right? Like, the NYXL is going to feel they need to get on Lip. Because they do. Like, if they don't get on Lip, Lip's just going to eventually kill them. And the Dragon's just forcing the point because they have the Ashe Zen on the high ground. NYXL needs to get to this nano. I don't think they can do anything until they get this nano. Interesting that they went up to this high ground. I don't know if I agree with that. I think I would have preferred to see them stay over here. Yeah, like, I don't know why they took this spot. Maybe just staying fluid with their, like, positioning. Oh, Feather just gets owned. You know, I think Flores had some really good moments. I think he's been impressive this season. Same thing with Guangbong. Feather hasn't really impressed me this season. Feather, yeah, I just don't. I'm not in love with Feather as a DPS player. I feel like Flora and Guangbong just sort of do it better. Like, I think I'd rather just see Ivy played. Just not good enough as DPS. Well, he's like fine sometimes, but he also gets picked a lot. Like, just in this series, like, he's kind of struggled. So.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Jack's the last original member, yeah. Just hip firing like crazy. Ivy Tracer is nice, yeah. So same with his Mei. I like Ivy's Tracer and Mei. I was gonna say I like Lip's positioning, but Flora knew where he was, which is interesting. All right, let's see what we got here. Mine's in the room. That's gonna be a problem. Once again, Izayaki just going forward with the rally with no fear with the Transcendence. Alright, that wasn't good for NYXL because Dragons just use rally to get through that. They should have the nano now. They should have the rally. Flora's gonna go to an Ashe of his own, which will be interesting. Oh! Flora just got actually murdered. Look at how aggressive. Like, Shanghai Dragons is literally giving NYXL no respect. It legitimately is just no respect. Oh, Lip's gonna live as well. That's just... NYXL used Rally, Primal, and Nano and didn't get a single kill. And just bled out. How many did Izayaki get in this fight? It's seen as 4 DPS where it feels like they still can't find the right combination. I don't think they've ever given any... This is like a classic case of I don't feel like they've given anyone a good opportunity to succeed. Like, it feels like they've been switching players and roles so much that, like, no one's ever really been given the keys to success. Like, Guangbong gets thrown in the most random situations. Like, yeah, actually, except for Flora. I think Flora's been given a great opportunity to thrive, and I think he has. But I think Feather and Guangbong haven't really been given the greatest opportunities to, like, do well. You know, they are in a hard region at certain times, but yeah, it's been weird. Oh. Dude, Kalios' Zyre is kind of feeding. Yo, we got a real analyst here now with Avril. What the fuck? Yeah, the Dragons are just not even... Like, how do you win this if you're the NYXL? This has to be the world's greatest grab by Kalios. But he can't even get out of his own spawn. Lip's just gonna bob, and it's gonna be thinking, and
Charging. Give me your best shot.
Is he just trying to solo grab Fate?
Like it.
Wobble wobble, motherfucker.
Bro, Fate is long gone.
Огонь по готовности.
Approaching its destination.
That was the Kalios's only grab in this whole map. This whole defense. Whiff. Rough. Alright, let's go. Let's keep moving.
Round 1.
Oh, what?
Complete.
So with that max grab, as I said, the bomb comes out, it's just over. There's nothing else to say. Not a fat finger. That's not a fat finger. That was wide. I'm all over the place.
Ready for battle. Attack.
All right. Yeah, Lip had Bob on cooldown. Yeah, Lip Ash, pretty good. As I said, I don't think this is even Kalios's fault. Well, obviously that grab was just bad, but I don't think this is Kalios's fault. I just don't like the Zarya pick. Like, I don't... I really just prefer the D.Va over the Zarya. The Zarya just feels so inconsistent. Alright, and this was a big overextension by the Dragons. I remember seeing this live. Like, this is just like the disrespect.
Code name.
You guys will see the disrespect here. Like, they just saw you go way too far forward, and they're just NYXL. They hit a great bio nade from Jonak, and then they just zip zap, and it's kind of done from there. So, kind of, this is kind of the overconfidence from Dragons coming back to bite them in the ass, and they probably deserve it. So, 1 second, open my dashboard again. Not being a fan of Fates Monkey. Well, Fates Monkey just hasn't been very good this season. I don't think you can say too much about that. Comfort, thank you very much for the Prime sub, by the way. I also mentioned Unito with the 2 months as well. Thank you very much. That was 12 minutes ago. Yo, Teeth did 500 bits. What, did I miss all this? Who do you have for your pick'ems to win it all? Shanghai Dragons, for sure. I haven't done my pick'ems yet, but it's gonna be the Shanghai Dragons. Thought on Fate's Ryan says Winston. I'm not sure. We haven't seen his Ryan in a hot minute, but his Winston is definitely, I think Winston is probably one of his worst main tanks, which is funny because in like 2018, it was one of his best main tanks. But I think his Winston's definitely been struggling as of late. And that's not too surprising. The game has changed so much since 2018, right? So he's not awful, right? Like, Fate's by no means his Winston's not a throw, but it's definitely, it's not as good as his Ball or his Orisa. Shanghai easy, yeah. I'll be surprised if Shanghai loses this tournament. Why are you picking against Dallas? You were one of us, bro. What do you mean? I literally have no loyalty to Dallas Fuel because the team has completely changed since I was there, so it's not even the same team. But also, I went for Dallas last tournament. I've given Dallas a lot of praise. I do like Dallas a lot. But I also think I think Dragons are just going to be better this tournament. Traitor. Custa hates Dallas. That is not what was said. Well played by Yakpung. I feel like Lee J. Gon just didn't heal Izayaki this whole time. Oh, he didn't have any packs. That's sad. I wonder who he used all his packs on. Bro, what do you mean? Tasmo is still on the team. That's true. Tasmum is still there. So I guess I could cheer on Tasmum. Nah. Nah. Yeah, Dragon's Winston comps definitely don't seem anywhere near as good as their Wrecking Ball comps. They just don't look as comfortable on it. Alright, so they should get the Nano Winston soon. They're waiting for that Nano Winston. Fate goes before it all gets slapped, gets grabbed. Well, welcome to Frowny Town, Fate.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Zarya.
Fleta copies the Zarya. Well, don't like that. Yeah, this has not been a very good team fight for the Dragons. They have not done anything well. They went early before their nano was happened. Fate gets slept and then just grabbed and blown up, and they can't help them. The rally doesn't get a ton of value because they get zoned out because of the bomb. Fleta copies Azaya and just gets nothing from it. Void gets forced to use his Diva Mech to contest. Like, this was a pretty weak fight by the Dragons. Kalios just gets absolutely murdered, though. I don't understand how they get away with a dive like that. This is a 4v6. Let's look at this, right? So let's watch all this again. Fate goes. So that's the recontest Diva Bomb, right? It is 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 6 v 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? It is a 6v5. Look at how Kalios just, like, dies. Like, how does this happen? Like, how does Kalios just get dove on and not get a single bit of help from anyone and just... That seems way too easy. They're just so disjointed right now. Like, I don't understand why Friday's in that room trying to charge people down. Why is Dragon like a melee comp? Well, this is... I think Wrecking Ball just isn't very good on this map. And I think that's the biggest thing, especially on defense. I think it's hard to play. So that's why they are playing the Winston. I think that would probably just be better if they did play the Winston, the Sombra comps. But... yeah, I think they like the Winston comp is theoretically better. Sombra is good as fuck. Sombra is good as fuck on this map, yes. But I don't think if you're gonna play the Winston, I think the Echo, you want to play the Ana, and therefore I think the Echo can potentially die better with the Winston. So I think the Echo synergizes way better with the Winston. So I think that's why it is played. I think the Sombra just sort of doesn't do a whole lot on her own without the Wrecking Ball. You can definitely get away with it, as I said, but I think theoretically the Winston Echo might be better. But you can sneak in an Echo Sombra. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Instead of playing the Tracer Sombra. Fate just zip zaps Jonak down. Great pulse bomb by Feather on the Luge gun. Oh! Even if this grab didn't get eaten, I don't know if the follow-up was here. Good eat by Void. I don't know if they would have been able to clean that up anyway, even if he hits that. But even then...
Wobble, wobble, motherfucker.
Yo, go get Custa to react to Avast takes on Plat Chat. What did Avast do? What did he do? It's content, you'll be fine. Oh no. Connor got spicy. Oh my god. Did Connor get spicy for the space for the to try and go spicy, or did he go to spicy out of absolute papegery? Is he baiting or is he just a papega? Oh, good dive onto Lee J gun. Isolates him. Izayaki gets Jonak though. How does... Alright, why do I feel like this is Izayaki's fault? Oh, whiff. Oh no, I thought he was in a different spot. I thought he started in the room, but he just ended up in the room because he was just absolutely all getting pressured. So that was actually pretty good play by Izayaki. But they're so split up, and that should be it. That was a good rally by Friday and a great engage by NYXL. But you can't ask for more.
60 seconds remaining.
He's throwing for content on YouTube. Oh my god. The Plat Chat special.
The payload has reached.
Why was Jonak so far up? Like, you know, you want to get in those binaries, you want to go for those sleeps. So, like, it works. Like, you need to really commit and play aggressively, especially because Friday had the rally. Like, you can play aggressive if you play around your brig. Hotel de Raj, thank you for the 6 months. I look at NYXL and a team with a lot of potential. Am I crazy? Yes, NYXL does have a lot of potential. They have a lot of great pieces. Not for this season though. You need to remember this is a development season for the NYXL. They picked up a lot of rookies, seeing what's stuck and all that kind of stuff, and I think they'll be good in the future, but not this season. Like, they're fine this season, right? They're not even that bad. That's actually funny. The pulse bomb stuck the mech and then the mech just flew across. Jack Pung isolates Void though. Oh, that's a good Diva bomb. That's a great Diva bomb by Kalios. Holy shit. You think Jonak will do another season? Yeah, he's not gonna retire. Why would Jonak retire? The only reason I could see Jonak retiring is if he was burnt out, but I don't really see that. Fate managing to live there is actually kind of nutty. That was great play by Fate. That actually stops a lot of this push from the NYXL. How's Friday been? Friday's been okay. Up and down, I would say. From what I've seen. Only retire if you can't cut it, cough Custa. I could have keep playing. I was fine. Is Yaki trying to live to stay alive? But seriously, on that point, I don't think Jonak's having a good season. Like, generally, the reason players retire and the reason you notice that they're going to retire is they generally start getting worse, right? They lose the passion for the game, they lose the drive, they don't care, they're not practicing as much. But I think Jonak's playing some of his best Overwatch he's played since 2018 as well. Question mark, Custa could have definitely been on Valiant. Thanks, Avril, man. I appreciate the backup. That was... Alright, so NYXL gets the cap, but it took them a lot. The OG Valiant King. The good times of 2018 where I was just a Mercy one trick and succeeding. Do you speak Chinese? Yeah, well, no. But I don't think the Valiant team, from what I've seen of their play, they don't communicate either, so I should be fine on that team.
Don't be so sure about that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Give us the juice on Moon's coaching style. I need to know. Nah, man. That's one that stays behind closed doors. I'll just sit back quietly and watch it happen. Fleta gets caught. How does Fleta get caught? Need to know what he's doing in Shanghai. I don't know what he's doing on Shanghai. Like, as I said, I have no idea what he's doing in Shanghai. I only know him from Valiant. Like, he's doing well in Shanghai. Shanghai is winning. He's doing something, right? Fleta gets caught. That's gonna make it really hard. So they play. It's interesting that Dragons prefer the Sombra Wrecking Ball on defense. Actually, they didn't do it on last time. I wonder if they were just like, the Winston didn't work, let's just play Wrecking Ball again. Honestly, that's probably it. That was some kind of turbo feeds by Fleta and Fate though there. Trying to hold too much positioning. He got Coach of the Year last year, so he's doing good, yeah. Because Coach of the Year is a really valid award, right? Don't get me started on the coaching stuff as well.
Stop the payload.
Because I think coaching is such a weird thing in Overwatch because, like, it makes sense in traditional sports, we're going to go into it just a little bit. It makes sense in traditional sports because the head coach is always the face of the team. You can see them making active decisions. They're held accountable for all the decisions that they have, and you can see them. They do interviews, they do things, they're talking, that kind of stuff. It doesn't happen in esports. If someone can give me a single reason of why someone is their favorite coach, right? Let's talk. Let's talk about Coach Moon for just a second. Like, I think he's doing great. Shanghai Dragons are doing great. You can't take anything away from him. All that kind of stuff. But can someone give me a reason of why Coach won Moon of the why Moon won Coach of the Year last year? It's like, can you guys give me a reason? Or like tell me why Krusty is great? You cannot justify. Yeah, as Avril said, you can't verify how good a coach is. None of you guys know how good a coach is. Team wins equals best coach, and that's it. Like, I think a lot of people give Coach of the Year and they just say a coach is good because their team's doing good. And usually those things correspond in some degree, right? So it's, as I said, you can't take it away from him. But I just think it's a weird award to give because no one really knows. And I've been really trying to get coaches on post-game interviews. I keep trying to bring it up. I really keep trying to bring it up for us to hear from coaches in post-game interviews. I think that'd be great. I think players should vote on Coach of the Year, but other players don't know how good other coaches are either. The only way you know how good your coach is if they are on your team or you've worked with them, if like you know what they like, you've worked with them. You don't hear from other coaches and stuff like that. And to the person who said like, yeah, but players talk highly of their coach or they talk about their coach, it's like no one's going to talk badly about their coach. But yeah. And that's it, right? Like, it just, and that's why I have an issue. Like, it's not even about Moon or my personal history with Moon. As I said, I don't care about Moon anymore. Our personal history, it's in the past. I'm happy with my job. I like what I'm doing right now. He's happy at Shanghai. He's successful. Same thing with Fate. They're doing great. All that kind of stuff. I just, with the coaching, I hear so many people like justify why a team is good or that kind of stuff because they're like, this person's a great head coach because of this. Or they're really good because they have a great head coach. Like, the number of Reddit Andys who are coming in here now, like, dude, we should give Get Amazed the Head Coach of the Year award. And it's like, okay, they released that great speech from him as a coach that brought Paris back into the game. They did, and that was a great speech, and that got his team fired up and they won. But that doesn't mean he should win Coach of the Year. Do you know anything else that he does for the team? Yeah, Paris is doing well given their scenario, but like, I don't know how good he is as a coach. So, Patrick, thank you for the gifted sub to Avril. I honestly think that's a coach influence shows in the small things within the meta, like D.Va walking the flanking McCree during McCree rush meta. Okay, here's my counterpoint to that, Zion, and here's where I think there's a massive misconception. The head coach isn't doing that. The head coach's job is not to tell the professional D.Va player who has been doing this for years that they need to do all these little things. It's generally the players that recognize it, and if it isn't the player, it's probably the assistant coach, because the assistant coaches are generally the ones that are working directly with players to help them improve. There's a lot of great assistant coaches that exist in this league that don't get anywhere near enough credit, and the head coaches get the credit. For the most part, the head coach's job is not to talk about the game with the players. Like, they obviously need to understand the game at such a high level that they can communicate and understand what's happening in the game and give good feedback in terms of the overall macro. But the nitty gritty is not the head coach. It really isn't.
Jimmy should win Coach of the Year, smiley face.
Yeah. Rush making a team like Dallas confident enough to play without a hit scan to such good results is maybe best case of the coach this season, but we don't know how Rush enabled that. Like, you guys are just, people are looking at results and then they're saying that result must be directly correlated to head coach. That's not always true. Like, we don't know if the head, like, we're just, if at that point, the coach of the year is just a 1 to 20 list. I'm just going to put the standings on the leaderboard of the overall season, and then we'll go, this is coaches of the year, right? Yeah, like, does anyone even know Young and Aid are the assistant coaches of the Dallas Fuel? Young and Aid have done an interview where they talked about what Rush actually does for the team, and that's great, right? And you can see, like, there is information out there. I'm not saying there isn't information out there, but there's a lot of different influences. And also, it's like, you gotta remember, of course Young and Aid are gonna talk about Rush at a high level. Obviously, Rush is a great coach, where he's had a lot of success. He's had a long-term success. It's not just Dallas Fuel, but of course they're gonna talk about it, right? How is Coach of the Year decided then? Popularity. It is literally a popularity contest for the most part. What's up, the rant? Weird champ. I just like talking about it. I think it's interesting. And yeah, like, there are a lot of great coaches in the league. There really are. I just don't think the right ones are always getting credit for where credit is due. And I think there's not enough transparency with coaching. And I wish there was. As I said, I wish we could start talking to head coaches, because you would really get a look behind the curtain if we were talking to head coaches after post-match of, like, what did you think of the game? I would love to hear Rush talk about the game after Dallas Fuel wins or they played a really close series. I would love to get a look at, like, what Moon's talking about with the Dragons and that kind of stuff. I would love to hear, like, from all of the head coaches, doesn't even need to be head coach, even assistant coaches, talking about their team and talking about the game, because I think we could learn a lot of extra things about it rather than just talking to the players, because the players generally give pretty generic answers of, like, yeah, what happened in the game, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. Why doesn't the desk interview coaches? I've been trying to get us to do it. I think we tried to get. I really tried to push Rush for a recent Dallas one, but I think they weren't set up in a way that they wanted to do that, or they could do that, or something like that. So, I don't know. I said at the start of the season, I've been trying to get it to go. There's only so much I can do. Doesn't Krusty do streams after every tournament? And that's why a lot of us do have respect for Krusty, because Krusty's actually done a lot of. He's actually done a lot of public feedback and that kind of stuff. And that's why we know more about Krusty than I think a lot of these other coaches, right? But not all of those coaches have those transparencies, right? Like, maybe Moon does do, like, a very transparent stuff just in Korea, and I don't see it. Maybe, you know, like, or these, like, other coaches are doing their own streams and we just don't see them. Please help me train for Talent Takedown. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing Talent Takedown. We'll see. I'm gonna go. I didn't like how it went last year. Like, I don't want to try. I just want to show up and have a good time and have banter and talk shit and that kind of stuff. Like, I don't mind, like, having some fun scrims and doing some dumb shit before, but Team Jake tried really fucking hard. Like, I don't see. Here's the thing. I don't care about, like, trying to get good and trying to have fun with that. Like, they just tried really hard. Like, they were doing a ton of scrims and they were doing, like, some VOD reviews and stuff like that. I don't want to do that. And if there's expectation that I'm gonna, like, do some coaching and VOD review and, like, try and coach my team to victory, I'm not gonna lie, I just don't really want to do that. Alright, Dragons just blow all of their ultimates and then just win it. I said, I think if all the casters want to do that and they want to try that, that's fun, and there is a lot of great stuff there. I just don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to try. I felt so bad for Frankie last tournament. I felt so bad for her. The last Talent Takedown. She was so upset in voice chat. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm feeding. I'm like, you literally have an hour level DPS player just fucking running you down. Just keep playing Moira. You're doing great.
Defend objective A.
Arissa game modes? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. As I said, we'll play it by ear.
Wobble wobble, motherfucker.
Zantonio, thank you very much for the Prime Gaming stuff. All right, let's get back focused. We're almost at the end, but let's get back focused on this VOD review. Let's finish this. I think Feather has been good with NYXL. I think he's probably had one of the weakest seasons out of the rest of the NYXL DPS. He's definitely had some struggle moments. Fate just lives. Like, that is just ridiculous that Fate lives through that. right? And that's what makes that Wrecking Ball so strong and what makes Fake such a good Wrecking Ball player, right? Is he's just, his ability to just consistently live is kind of insane. I'll get back to you. I don't have cats in here right now. I'll redeem it for you in a bit. Jimmy Lover, thank you for the $1. Petra, actually, Sharkbait gave me 100 bits. Custa retired to make 2 money on the desk so he can afford a corgi. That's true. Good thinking. Good thinking. How did the Dragons lose that? So they get the good dive. Feather gets Fletter, which is big pick. Fate eventually goes down. Jonak gets his Arcan. Alright, so they just got caught in the hotel. They just couldn't make it out of that room. I don't know why they rushed through this room. I don't know why they didn't play it slow like they did the first time, right? Like, where they get the Zen and the Ashe on high ground and play it slow. It kind of feels like they're forcing the agenda, trying to run into that. Coach, player, caster, streamer, analyst, Mercy, Lucio, Brig, Legs, Rat. The Jake special. His resume just keeps getting bigger. How do captains in esports work? They don't do anything. Captains are generally redundant. They're usually just like the player who is like communicates the most or like is like the pseudo leader. Like when I was on the Valiant, I was considered the captain, and it's like that's more because I was the oldest and I like that's how I functioned as like a teammate, as like I was very like lead by example with a lot of things, but they don't have any impact in game, right? Basically Mr. Talk a lot, right? Like, yeah, like... That was a good nade. Oh my god, I can't believe Yakpung's not going to get void, and he's going to die for that. That was a great peel by the Dragons. As I said, this time they did a much better job, I think, getting the Ashe and the Zen playing, forcing Yakpung to go, like, dive into a bad spot, and then take the hotel after. Like, mid-game, they make important call-outs. It's not even in-game, right? Like, Captain isn't even always in-game. It's more just, like, around. Like, as I said, I wouldn't take Captain too seriously. Too literally. That's more a thing. That's a classic esports thing that they're trying to make a thing because it exists in sports, but it doesn't need to exist in esports, you know? Just because this happens in sports doesn't mean anything. Like, the only reason they have captains in sports is so that they can do the fucking coin toss. They literally do nothing else. But we don't have coin tosses in, Great dive. Once again, the aggressive flux and transcendence from, the Dragons giving them the edge. Wait, do team captains not really do anything in traditional sports? Not really. They're like... as I said, they're more just... They're more like the veteran player who has like been on the team and just like does the coin toss. They don't really do much else, I don't think, right? It's like the emotional lead for a team, yeah, and that's generally why it's the veteran player, but like, it doesn't really matter. Captains interacts with the refs, yeah, like that's it. Like captains are really the only ones that are directly able to talk with the refs and stuff like that. Alright, so they're gonna hard dive Void. There is nobody there to help him. That's a great recognition from NYXL. The only issue is that they left their backline behind. The payload is approaching the destination. Just letting you guys know. Alright, good. Kalos has been really good. Kalos has been better than Bianca for sure. That's kind of a C9, but also not. Like, they're about to die. This is over. Felt like NYXL. I don't think they were giving up. I just think they had it. They were struggling. The game even warns you when you're about to C9. How nice. Please get the fuck on the cart. Strongest NYXL rookie this season? I would say it's probably Flora. I think Flora's been the strongest rookie so far. As I said, like, NYXL, they looked fine there. Like, obviously they did get kind of rolled by the Shanghai Dragons, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world, right? Like, they almost won a round on Lighthouse, on Ilios. They did double cap on Volskaya. Shanghai did a little bit of trolling, but they did cap. And even then, they took it to overtime there. NYXL is fine, right? They're a good middle of the pack team in the East, but Shanghai Dragons is the Shanghai Dragons, and they're just the best in the East. And I think Shanghai Dragons consistently look better. The real question is, I don't think the Dragons have really been challenged in the Summer Showdown. And the question is going to be, are they going to be able to perform when they take on the West? They're going up against Dallas Fuel and Atlanta Reign again. I would say Shanghai Dragons are the favorites leading into this tournament just because of how good they look. And they also play a style that I think is better than the West. And the West can't mirror that comp. Like, I don't think anyone in the West is going to be able to play the same composition as the East. Because Dallas Fuel potentially could play the same compositions, but Fearless's Wrecking Ball is not as good as Fate's, and I don't think Fielder's Zen is as good as Izayaki's. But I think Fearless's Winston and Fielder's Ana is better than their counterparts on the East. So that's why we're going back and forth of like who's better in which tournament. It seems pretty meta dependent. I think both Shanghai and Dallas are very even, and whichever meta sort of more suits them and becomes the better composition is generally good. So Jake playing Zen now unranked, add it to the resume. It'll be interesting to see what Jake does in the future. But we'll talk about that in just a second. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We did want to get this one out of the way. But yeah, thanks very much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. Words are hard.